completely different lines there through the reverse corkscrew right there. And you're absolutely right. It is so...
Really is no point in doing anything silly at this point in the race. Just hang in there. You've got...
start for those guys, but the others, they'll be hoping for a much better start tomorrow. Someone's down in the background, Peter. Downhill there. You cannot imagine it from just your TV screens. How...
7 laps to go and a couple of corners, and then sort it out over the last couple of laps. And
I couldn't see who it was, but it looks... Oh, it's Ramersdorf has gone down, unfortunately, tumbling down up timing screens, and it really... They're not just folding the front every time. Well, that's why they're in Rebels Rookies Cup and we're commentary.
There is the group behind it. It's another slipstreaming battle, and of course it's the 85.
Impacted Benyat Fernandez, and someone else has gone down too there as well. A few riders.
That's right. And as I say, they go through the gearbox, through the left-hander in first, and they just go second, third. Of Cat 6 Singapore there. Mike Yu is his commonly used name.
Going wide there. I wonder what on earth has happened. It looks like it was Tinez, the Venezuelan, tumbling down.
Fourth. You know, it's so steep down there that they just as quickly as they can change the gear, they do so. That's a lot easier than saying Cat 6 Singapore. Mike Yu, his mates call him.
Our timing screen as well as Benyat Fernandez. Oh, dearie me, what a big shame that was.
So there is the number 13 of Hakim Danish, our points leader. But he's yet to win a race this year.
I'm just having a look then. David Gonzalez in the Moto3 Junior World Championship last time out. A good charge through the field already, but we switch our attention back towards the front. Brian is...
He's frustrated by that. More frustrated is Brian Uriarte, who's won 2 races.
In Jerez just last weekend, came away with 9 points. Catching Veda, and he's got David Gonzalez with him.
And I think Veda and twice been knocked off. And once by Hakim Danish.
Yeah, and he wants to be running away with it by this point. 7th place finish in race 2 for him. So certainly taking that confidence.
Was perhaps using a little bit too much road coming out. He couldn't quite get on the gas as hard as he wanted to.
In the championship, didn't he? You know, he looks at what he did last year. I could go one better than that. He wants to be from there through to here, as we see Singapore up there ahead of Marco Morelli there. There's Ramersdorfer, who went down, as well as Benyat Fernandez. Tinez as a junior GP champ and Red Bull Rookies champ in the same year, like the riders all before him, as Pugliese. And so this is the battles for 12th and 13th. So Morelli's found his well, I believe, unless he's just gone really, really wide, caught up in some kind of chaos. But our timing now picks his pocket into the final turn. That is an impressive move, because that is so feet a little bit, hasn't he? What was he doing last time out? Last lap around a 2:03. But its screens confirm it is Ramersdorfer and Benyat Fernandez who are both crashed out. And you're fast into there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I say they don't break. They flick it in there, scrubbing. It's ridiculous. You know, Marco Morelli, you remember, go back to Assen last year, can win. Saw the number 11 of David Gonzalez make the pass on Brian Uriarte. The previous lap we've been on board off the speed, then on the brakes as they go into the left-hander. And absolutely sensational stuff. Fun. In a race like he's on a different planet. Yes. And then how is he scratching around here for a few points?
Obviously,
with Brian looking back at David Gonzalez, and he couldn't do it. Well, he made it work this time.
Now it's getting spicy, because Pratama has not got the lead that he once had, and it's Uriarte started from the back of the grid, didn't get the first lap that he would have wanted. We'll have to see what happens.
If they slow each other down, then Veda is going to disappear. But the number 11 of David Gonzalez
up the inside of Pugliese, who gets the switch back there, or does he? No. Uriarte says no. Tomorrow, when the grid has changed up again, won't we?
Yeah. But they're looking super determined in second, and is right on the tail of Veda.
Away, chap. I'm out of that into turn 2. Up the climb towards turn 3 we go, and you think it's steep on.
But he just, you know, that's unfortunate. I think he's a lovely young man. Pratama now.
David Gonzalez, 11th in the standings, is the number 11 coming into this on the way down from the reverse corkscrew. This is quite a brutal climb for any runner or cyclist.
He's got incredible talent, but it just has up weekends and down weekends. That's just
race. He's finished 3 out of 4 races so far. A very quiet Le Mans, just taken away as we see. Oh, we've got 2 riders down, unfortunately. Joel Pons and Christian Daniel down and out.
Where it is.
Well, I do know he's. I was just going to say, Maverick Vinales, a few points, but had a great start to the season back in Jerez. 8 points coming away from that one. So, but out of this race as well, that's a big shame. Pons was having a better weekend of it. I saw him earlier. He was pretty management agency Marco Morelli's in. Actually, it's part of Maverick Vinales' own agency, and he came by. He's going to get a bit of a nosebleed here running this high up, as we see Tassini had a grid infringement. Happy, and Christian Daniel down and out as well.
And Joel just doesn't have any luck at the moment, does he? As you say, he was doing
by the 10 yesterday, to sort of instantly after qualifying to see what was going on with effectively one of his riders. Double long lap penalty. Oh dearie me.
Yeah, that's a messy way to start the race. Better this weekend. He certainly didn't need that. Both obviously okay, and they're going to be riding again tomorrow.
What happens? You know, part of the big part of that agency was announced yesterday.
Isn't it? What a shame. Okay, and you don't know why. I mean, he could have been in the wrong position or what. I have no idea.
And here then, oh, Christian took himself out, and then Pons clipped him. Sure, Maverick himself, a KTM factory rider, can be helping out.
Well, that's an interesting point you make. We don't know exactly what he did wrong, but obviously he's done something. Okay, it's Veda Pratama. And
Christian, that was a brutal looking one. Glad to see him up.
Because I know that from the Red Bull Athletes Performance Centre was one of them. Then the 11 of David Gonzalez, Brian Uriarte, and those trio, I think, are being caught by walking for. Well, thank goodness for the Tech Air suit from Alpine Stars, which obviously fired out. Mental coaches works with Maverick Vinales, actually, and he was in Jerez. The 31 of Giulio Pugliese and Hakim Danish on the number 13.
Carter Thompson,
as he was in the air and will have saved a very, very nasty collision with the tarmac on the way down there, and working with Maverick. So if he can help Maverick, maybe Maverick can help Marco Morelli.
And they're in 6th place with Sullivan Mounty up from 11th on the grid. They're in 7th as well, just off the back of this group. So
it's on number 11 of David Gonzalez, the Spaniard. He's the 4th of those from the mental side. Because, you know, when you're that quick, when you can win a race on a different planet like he did at Essen last,
really seeing it properly strung out, Peter. This is absolutely fascinating. I wonder what the condition.
5 riders, and it still is Veda Pratama who has the advantage. Brian Uriarte in second here. It really has. There's nothing wrong with your riding skill. It really has to be a mental thing, doesn't it?
You know, exactly. There's a like out there. I mean, the pace being drilled out here. I mean, you got 2 riders out the top 3. Look who our top 3 are, Peter. It's as if Pratama never went away and had an injury. He's very, very high praise rider in the Junior World Championship as well. He sits 9th position, did 201s. Most of the others, apart from Pugliese and Danish, they're in 202s. Everybody else in minimum. It's like we're watching Jerez again, but you've got Sporting Axe, but didn't have a very good Jerez. Strictly speaking, is his best result. 203, so it's just a red hot pace like the sun out. Actually, the extra protagonists as well of David Gonzalez and Giulio Pugliese, but the top 3 there at the moment from these leaders.
And pole time was 2:01.95.